We already started off tonight with some great chat with Boyd Clack. Continues with some Welshness as well tonight. Yeah. Absolutely. We have got the one and only Matt Cook in the studio. Good evening, Matt.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, Steve. How are you, my man?
Oh, it's lovely. Now then, the reason why Matt is here is because he just released a new single, and it's all for charity. It's for the Veterans Support Association, which
right.
we're going to talk about a little bit, and that's how we got into that.
Yeah.
So the song is called Still Worth Fighting For, Matt.
That's it.
Tell us a little bit about the track.
Well, I wrote it a little while ago, and it's a song that it sort of came to me very, very clearly. The chorus sort of jumped out at me, and I knew I wanted it. I knew I had the word "still worth fighting for." I was going through a bit of a strange time in my life, and I ended up sort of, the guitar is kind of like your therapy when when you need to get something off your chest.
Yeah.
And of course, what I did was I came up with "Still Worth Fighting For," wrote the song around it, and it's been on my album "Worth Fighting For a while. Mm-hmm. And then I got involved with a new manager called from Marlon Music. Her name's Ronnie. She's the best manager in the world. Shout out to Ronnie. And she said, well, I've been working with the VSA for a while.
Right.
And the VSA is the Veteran Support Association. And she said this song, they've been looking for a charity single. And this song encompasses the message of the VSA.
Yeah. So with that in mind, obviously you've got that cross.
Yeah.
Obviously, what was the reaction when you submitted the single?
Well, I remember when I went off to see John Joyce. John Joyce actually created the VSA 10 years ago. They've recently gone national. In the last 3 years, they've got like drop-in centres for veterans and soldiers to actually go in it. And there's the whole idea behind the VSA is that they John Joyce personally wants everybody to know that there's somebody on the other end of the phone,
right?
Basically, for these soldiers. That we owe an awful lot to these soldiers, because a lot of our life now is only because of those guys. And so I remember going in to meet John Joyce at Tedworth House, where the soldiers sometimes get together, and I played him the song. And I think he was moved by it. We had a bit of a moment, if you know what I mean, because John Joyce didn't get into this because he was, didn't have anything better to do. He genuinely feels it passionately from his gut. He's like me. I mean, if you, if you believe something's worth doing, then you do it properly. Yeah. And so, like on the day, I mean, he'd come in. Ronnie had sent him my the demo of the track, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to, I'd love to work with it." So I went in and I played him in a little bit nerve-wracking because he's a pretty big deal, and so I made sure that I went in, I got the guitar and I sung him the song, and yeah, he liked it, and on the spot he was like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Excellent.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, obviously you're very talented. That's very clear.
Thank you
very
very
much. A couple of seconds ago, but I'd love to know, where did it all start from then, Matt?
For me with the music, well, it's always been kind of like Dad had guitars sort of hanging around, and I always was able to sort of pick up the guitar and play my first chord,
right.
And like what happened with me was I sort of never had a lesson, never actually sort of sat down. I can't read music, but I'm quite typical of musicians in that, of guitarists, right, in that way, because none of us can read music. We like to use tab, very simplified form. And I ended up sort of hanging around with the guys in the school and everything, and you sort of learn a few chords. Oh my God, check out this guy! His name. There was a guitar player called Steve Williams. Actually, similar name to you, my man. Everybody's called Steve in here today. and this guy Steve Williams, he could play the guitar like he could play the acoustic guitar absolutely fantastically. So you'd just, right, what have you learned today, Steve? And he'd play it and you'd go, wow. And like I just remember thinking, wow, just if I could do that, life would be awesome. Life would be brilliant. And you know what, how old were we then? We were only kids. And I still don't know if I'm as good as Steve Williams now, as good as he was then, right? I know a few chords, but he was something else.
Now, obviously, I looked around, you looked at your lovely webpage, which we were just talking, in fact, the title of your webpage, it is brilliant. And you're so right. Tell us all about it.
Right, well, when I actually came to it, I thought I needed to go professional. I needed to get professional. And back then, nobody knew who I was, and you know, quite honestly, there's a lot of people that don't know who I am now, and that's absolutely fine. Hold my hands up. And people would sort of say, things that, you know, in the bands that I was in, they would say, "Oh, who was that band we saw last night?" Right. And they go, "Oh, they were that band," and you know, we you know, look them up and get the number, get the singer's number or whatever. I thought, well, I'll cut out the middleman here. I'll just call myself that guy we saw last night, and add a .com on the end. Yeah. So the idea is, you know, I'll come out, I'll play a few songs for you or whatever, and then you'll say, "Who was that guy we saw last night?" Yeah. And you've got the website, bang it into Google, and I come straight up. I'm the first one. The other side of it is that if your name is Matt Cook, there's absolutely hundreds of Matt Cooks out there. There's loads of us. There's adding to the confusion. There's a really good pianist out there called Matt Cook. There's a good songwriter. There's another under this hat. I'm bald, and the other Matt Cook is bald as well. Right, so that doesn't help. And then there's a Hollywood director, Matt Cook. He's doing really well at the minute. So I had to be different. So
yeah. I mean, saying that, man, when we do this, it's just nice to get, you know, you're up there with those guys.
Oh yeah, we're up there with some of the best. But I haven't really got involved in directing movies or anything. Maybe I'll try and turn up to his office one day and I'll say, "Hi, Matt Cook here," and they'll go, "Wow, you look different," and I'll see how far I can get.
One of your tracks in.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I'll give him an email and say, "Hey, I'm your name neighbour. I've got the exact same name as you. What can we do together?"
That's one of the things you used to do back in the day on MySpace and things like
that.
Really? You would contact you know
I love it.
Somewhere else across the world, and that's what you used to do. Yeah,
I love it.
To do sort of silly things like that.
That's great.
Now then, the track, obviously, it's great. The fact, first of all, thanks for coming in, because
it's a pleasure to be.
It is genuinely. I love it when an artist comes in. We perform, you know, do it live in the studio, because we don't often get the chance, and it's great to do this, and I think it's brilliant to have that. And the opportunity, and of course you're Welsh, you're from Wales.
I am indeed.
It's brilliant, it really is. Now then, if you're going to be performing the track very soon. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things obviously our listeners are going to want to know is, how can they get hold of it?
Straight onto the Veteran Support Association website, which is www.veteransupportassociation.co.uk.
Right.
And on the website there, we're going to get a link up. In the meantime, you can just contact. You can, you know, give an email and say, "Hey, you know, looking to get hold of the single," and we can hook you up from there. At the moment, the CDs are literally just hot off the press. They are literally still steaming. But we wanted to come in for you. I'm so glad that you had me in to play this, because I'm sure that I hope you're going to like it. I hope your listeners are going to like it. And if you are, what we're saying is, if you're moved by it, or if you're touched by anything that, you know, if this means anything to you, then please hit us up on the website. And I think the single's going to go out for, you know, it's going to be reasonably priced, put it that way. Absolutely every penny of the proceeds goes to the VSA. It's really good cause, really good cause.
Yeah, it sounds it. Okay, I tell you what we do. We're going to, if you just play the track. This is called Still Worth Fighting For, the one and only Matt Cook.
Thank you, Steve. I've never known times like this, when friends are gone, family hurt, and brothers missed. As bold as time, a solid pact, the cracks are shown. As the candle burns, a bond will break, you're on your own. I know the shades of darkness colored you, but there's beauty in this world to pull you through. And don't let a hopeless fall prevent the rise. The sun will look so bright through tired eyes, but it's still worth fighting for. 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 Surround yourself and don't let go. Give all you can through winter days, they keep you warm. But at your last, trust my word, you'll be alone. As the candle burns, a bond will break, you're on your own. I know the shades of darkness colored you, but there's beauty in this world to pull you through. And don't let a hopeless fall prevent the rise. The sun will look so bright through tired eyes, but it's still worth fighting for. 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 Yeah, all the things you've seen will shape who you will be, but it's still worth fighting for. It's still worth fighting for. And it's still worth fighting for. It's still worth fighting for. It's still worth fighting for. It's still worth fighting for.
Oh, Matt Cook, everyone, that was absolutely fantastic. Still worth waiting. Wow.
Thanks very much.
That was
Cheers, thank
worth
you.
waiting.
Thank you.
Putting that together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That must have been some sort of, passion when you wrote that song.
Well, yeah. I kind of got that first chorus first. It's still worth fighting for. I knew I kind of wanted it to come from the gut. It's if you've kind of got something that for me, I'm quite awkward. I always get the chorus first, and then the verses I use to sort of let people into why I feel like that. And basically, when John Joyce heard that, I think it sort of resonated with him. My manager, she went, "Look, this is definitely the right sort of fit. Let's run it past them." But the writing of that, I'm a big believer in, if you haven't got it written inside about, maybe if you haven't got the bulk of it inside an hour, move it off. Delete it, get it shifted, right. Because. And what you kind of really have to do is sort of push yourself. You get that chorus, and then the chorus tends to come easily, but the verses and what you can do a lot of the time is you sort of you can write the song and then say, I'm going to get much better lyrics for this, and I'll get them tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into next week, and you go for months and months. So I try and crystallize that feeling in the moment. When you get that feeling in the gut and in the heart, and you try and get that. And if the words are imperfect, then so be it. That's the song, and that's the song as it should be. And if you can get that out of that moment, that's sometimes worth keeping.
What's been your influences for you?
I am such a weird guy for this. I'm really strange. I grew up with Oasis. It's the reason why I like Gibson guitars. I love Oasis. I rate them highly. I like bands like Travis. Of course, I love Ed Sheeran. That's the law. You've got to love Ed. He's great. I've got a project with Jethro Sheeran, and big up Jethro if you're out there, if you're listening. We've got a project with him coming up very shortly. That's going to be great. I like I've been listening to a lot of Linkin Park lately. Now Linkin Park's sort of pretty rocky, sort of hard edge kind of stuff. I like System of a Down. They're extremely rocky, but I also like Simon and Garfunkel. But I swear to you that the sort of nature of songs is that the way a melody and the way that the chords will interact, that for me is the song. And if you've got something in that area, it doesn't matter how you sort of present it. I like that song Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. I think that's a legitimately great song. No one's listening to this, so Steve? It's just me and you talking. Because my musical credibility has just left the building. But of course I like the Beatles. Let's get them in there. Let's get them in there as well.
I think everybody I speak to Beatles always slides in there.
Oh yeah. Well, if you don't like the Beatles, then I mean they basically invented what music is these days. I mean, really, like, you know, if you're younger than me, which is, you know, that's easy. You know, raid your dad's records and have a listen to you know, Sgt. Pepper's, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
Pepper.
you know, it's the invention of pop music, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know.
Now you realise all the listeners are going to be saying, yeah, we want to get the single, but
Yeah.
Matt, where can we see you live? Because I'm sat here now, I've just witnessed that song performed in the studio, and I want to be able to see more of you.
Oh, bless you. Bless you.
And
I basically, if you go to my website, thatguywesawlastnight.com, there's a diary page, and like if I do anything, it goes on there first. I'm really on top of that. When anybody checks that out, it'll say the you know, date, time, venue, and I basically play you know, South Wales, all up the M4 corridor.
Yeah.
Depending on you know, and if you want me for gigs, then drop me a line. I'm very reasonable. You know, I'm not quite at the you know, I'm not a diva yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay, nearly there.
Exactly, I'm working on it. I haven't got the hair that Mariah's got, but you know, I'm working on it. I'll get a wig or something. That's the plan anyway.
So, I mean, obviously Christmas coming up, surely you must be very busy.
Yeah, but Christmas is a great time, and you know, for musicians, we do a lot of work at Christmas time. You know, office parties and all these kinds of things, and yeah, I mean, I don't only play my own stuff. I play a lot of covers, and you've got to get your Christmas songs in there. You've got to. It's the law. If you know, as soon as December hits, you know, you've got to do your wham. You've got to get your Last Christmas in there. You've got to do these things, because of course, if you want to work, then you do it. And but yeah, it tends to be the crazier side of.
What's the most common sort of request you get?
Oh, it's always wham. It's always, can you do Last Christmas? It's always wham for me. Sometimes people ask me to do well, after the Fairy Tale in New York. That's the best Christmas. In my personal humble opinion, that is the best Christmas song out there. That's great because it's you know, it's got some guts to it, you know. It's got, you can hear there's pain in that, there's character, and if you listen to it, man, it's a grim story, you know. An old man said to me, I won't see another one. Oh my God. And you think, wow, if people listen to this, you know, but you sing it at joyful times, it's great. I like that.
It's like a karaoke song as well.
It's a superb karaoke song.
Yeah,
that's the one they like. That's the one they want.
What's next for you then, Matt?
Right, well, at the moment, as I say, me and Jethro Lone Star Sheeran, we're working on a track called Soldier On. We wrote that together. We've got that coming out soon. There's with the VSA, we've got that coming through. There's a lot of things me and Jethro are planning on. You know, touring the new act and everything. So keep an eye on the website because that's where that's going to be. But I'm just constantly. He's all over the. If you don't know him, he works under the name of Lone Star, Jethro Sheeran, and he basically travels all over the world. Basically, he's got a place in Denmark. He's got a place in Morocco. He's sometimes in Bristol. He's back and forth to Wales sometimes. And what we do is I tend to send him something. He sends it back. I send it back over. He sends it back, and eventually, you know, the idea is, you do. You know, fingers crossed, you do, because you know, technically, every bounce, every sort of tennis ball back and forth should technically make that song a little bit better. That's the idea anyway. That's the idea. So we should be coming up with a couple of things. If you check my website, we went into the BBC a couple of weeks ago to go and play Soldier On, so you can check that out. And we'll when the track. That's the acoustic version. You'll be able to hear online right now. So check that out at my website, thatguywesawlastnight.com, and very soon the full single will be released.
Now then, before you go, one of the things is, obviously we're going to let everybody know again, where can they get hold of this single? The Veteran Support Association.co.uk. Right, let's get that across. Yeah, and just hit contact, drop the guys a line there and say, hey, I want to get that new single. And it's a couple of quid, goes to a great cause. Brilliant. Now, we can't let you go without doing one more, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Yeah, quite clearly. You know, very talented. We got to have him come on. We got to do it.
Thanks.
So we want you to do something of your choice, all right?
Well, let's have a think. I think I'll probably play Letting Go. Letting Go is it's one of the songs that I wrote fairly recently, really, but it's kind of it's a few years old, but it's the track that sort of it's my Wonderwall. It's my Wonderwall. I can't say it fairer than that. It's the one that people it's the one people ask for first. Yeah.
Right. Okay then.
Let's do it. Well, I've always tried to keep a little faith inside of me, a little light inside my hand, a little hope to understand. But none of this can be if you're not here with me to bring the night and day. It's like we've slept away, but I'll always be holding back, picking up all the slack, hoping that you'll see. The two of us used to laugh, used to love, used to be only you and me. But it feels like we're letting go, we're lost in the undertow. I'm losing you in the crowd, the whisper has gotten too loud. And when the years have passed, if you're ever asked, this much is always true. You can tell them I loved you, but time can change a heart and let us drift apart. But if love will not recur, we'll have who we once were. And I'll always be holding back, picking up all the slack, hoping that you'll see. The two of us used to laugh, used to love, used to be only you and me. But it feels like we're letting go, we're lost in the undertow. I'm losing you in the crowd, the whisper has gotten too loud. And it feels like we're breaking down, the footlights are fading now. It's cold and I've got so low. It feels like we're letting go, 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 it feels like we've let us go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Kirk. That was absolutely fantastic. Oh.
Thanks very
We
much.
can't let you go now, you know that, don't you?
Well,
we keep me going all night.
I tell you what, just keep the tea coming.
Oh yeah, we will love it. Matt, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so
It really
much, Steve.
has. It really has, and it is great. We're going to keep an eye out for you as to where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Definitely want to come down and see you.
Definitely, I'll be back if you'll have me as well, Steve.
We always welcome. Doors always open.
Lovely. Be sorry you said that.
Yeah.
I'll move into the studio. You've got a nice green room in there.
We love it. All right, thanks very much, Matt.
Thank you, my man.